Heads up, Megan. Just about quarter past the hour, America votes 2024. Less than 4 weeks to go until the election. We're seeing more congressional candidates take the debate stage. That includes Arizona Senate candidates Kari Lake and Ruben Gallego running for Senator Kyrsten Sinema's seat. The two will square off in their first and only debate of the season. You can watch that tonight right here on ABC 15 at 6. And ahead of tonight's debate, there are a lot of things at stake when it comes to the balance of power in Washington. Stephanie Liebergen tells us where the state of the race is, especially when it comes to control of the Senate.
With Election Day less than a month away, Democrats' odds of holding on to their slim Senate majority appear bleak. Of the 34 Senate seats up for re-election this year, Democrats are defending 23 of them. The GOP is all but guaranteed to flip West Virginia, the seat being vacated by Senator Joe Manchin. If Republicans can flip one more, they'll likely have the majority in January. In Montana, Democratic Senator Jon Tester was seen as a popular incumbent, but polls have Republican Tim Sheehy in the lead. Experts say the political climate and the strength of his opponent makes this election harder for Tester.
He's running in a presidential cycle that is increasingly difficult in a state that in 2020, President Trump won by 16 points. Tim Sheehy has been able to put his own money in the race, his profile as a veteran, as a Purple Heart recipient. I think just the political math and the lean of the state, political gravity takes over.
In Wisconsin, the race between Senator Tammy Baldwin and Republican Eric Hovde is now considered a toss-up by the Cook Political Report. Polls show Baldwin's lead is now within the margin of error.
Wisconsin's probably as close to an evenly divided 50-50 state as we have in the country. So I think this race was probably always going to tighten, and I think what we're seeing is just a nature of Wisconsin elections here.
Arizona may be a bright spot for Democrats as voters choose a replacement for Democrat-turned-independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Even though the race for president in the state is neck and neck, polls show Democratic Representative Ruben Gallego leading Republican Kari Lake by as many as 13 points.
Kari Lake is the type of candidate that Republicans had hoped to avoid. She ran for governor in 2022, lost a very close election, but she did lose, and she has refused to concede that, has continued to challenge it in court.
The challenging map for Democrats has them looking outside their typical stomping ground, and Texas might be Democrats' best chance to pick up a seat.
Ted Cruz had a bit of a scare in 2018 against Beto O'Rourke in that race that he won by less than 3 points. But there's two things that I think are different in Texas than it was in 2018. Abortion and Cancun.
Texas has one of the strictest abortion laws in the country, and reproductive rights can motivate voters to show up at the polls. And Democratic Representative Colin Allred has made Cruz's now infamous trip to Cancun while the state struggled with massive power outages a focus of his Senate campaign ads. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News, Washington.
Stephanie, thank you. Reminder, you can watch that debate between Kari Lake and Ruben Gallego tonight. We're going to be airing it live at 6 o'clock right here on ABC 15.